Welcome back to the AeroBear podcast, episode 5. I'm Isaac Lopez. I'm joined by my brother Bear over in Ireland, and my father, Patrick Lopez, here in Moscow, Idaho. Go ahead and say hi, everyone.
Hey, I'm Bear Lopez.
We've got a really jam-packed show, as always. I mean, when we do weekly shows in the middle of the cycling season, there's always going to get a lot to get to. So we're going to talk about the Tour de France. This is our kickoff show. Then we'll talk about Barry's first week in Ireland at his training camp, and then we'll wrap the show up. But before we get any further, Bear's podcast is sponsored, and I want to go ahead and get to that. You need better coffee. Do you even know when your coffee was roasted? If your beans are old enough to file taxes, we have a problem. Cleve Coffee is the Inland Northwest's newest coffee roaster, bringing you fresh roasted coffee twice a week. No mystery blends, just single origin organic beans that taste like dark chocolate doing backflips through citrus sunshine. Sip once, and your grocery store grounds will feel like instant regret. Sip, smile, repeat. Cleve Coffee. Use code AeroBear at checkout. That's AeroBear to get 20% off your entire order. Go and check them out. And I can't emphasize enough, really good coffee. Bear's actually got a bag on the way over to Ireland. So hopefully he'll be able to enjoy some coffee as well. So let's jump in. First, stage one of the 2025 Tour de France was today. Bear, Dad, your initial reactions?
It was a fun stage. I caught bits and pieces. I was following it on my tour tracker app, and then a couple of guys huddled around one guy's phone who had a VPN and a Peacock login. So we watched the final 10K from there. So it was good fun. Good amount of action and some interesting moments for a first stage. So I think it was a good opening stage.
Yeah, it was had some interesting events in it with guys crashing on a King of the Mountains finish with just the two of them, and some other key guys that were out already. Visma was really aggressive, and there were some guys caught out in a split already on day one, which is unusual.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my big takeaways from today, and something I was reflecting on after the Criterium du Dauphiné is that Remco Evenepoel rode the perfect tour last year. Bear said that in the last podcast episode, and but it seems like he doesn't have the best positioning in the peloton, and it seems like his team doesn't do a great job of keeping him at the front. I mean, you saw Visma keeping Jonas like at the very, very front, and those crosswinds just cut out, I think, Roglic and Remco.
Yep. To be fair, I'm pretty sure also, if my tour tracker app is right, Remco flatted at one point,
Mhm.
in the final 15K. So I mean, in the crosswinds, 15K from the finish when Visma is already going full pelt, it's going to be hard to recover from a puncture. So I think that's also fair. But I mean, it's not like Remco or Roglic have had a good record when it comes to being in great position anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was he already in the second group though when he flatted?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
no, I think that was
Though
before
it's
the split.
possible that it split apart right after he flatted.
Okay.
Though I'm not sure.
The other interesting thing was Caden Groves. I don't know if you saw the footage of that, but he just barely avoided a crash just outside the 5 kilometers, and then still got back up at the front and did the big lead out
Yeah.
to help his
Which
teammate win. Yeah.
That's just a crazy lead out train for Alpecin now because Caden Groves could be a sprinter for this tour in his own right. And the fact that they've got now Vanderpool and then Groves to do a lead out for Philipsen is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I actually thought that was Jasper Philipsen that avoided the crash. But that would make more sense if that was Caden Groves. Yeah, because it was Caden. And doesn't he? I feel like he sprinted in the tour before. Like, I mean, he could be a sprinter.
Yeah, I believe he
Absolutely.
has. Yeah, and then I guess the other big thing, other than the KOM sprint, before I talk about that, was just Ben O'Connor hit the ground pretty hard. I think he was 500 meters from the 5K safe zone. So I think he's like 6 minutes back now,
Oh, wow.
if I remember right.
Yeah, it seems like a day like today and the next 9 days, with just the way with the tour set up, is that you can only lose the tour. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you can get ahead in the tour because your opponents and rivals fall behind. But is that
Yeah.
the big key for GC riders the next week and a half is to just stay upright, stay in the front?
Yeah. I think that's what Visma's going to try to kind of take it to Poggi in, is just this first week, try to catch UAE out in some crosswinds and make it like a minute up on Poggi in a crosswind area.
Yeah, it could be that, or they could just be trying to go so hard to stay in front of things so they don't get caught behind any of those crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, just given the fact that Poggi thrives in the rolling and in flat stages. He's so good. And maybe the only weakness is possibly the high mountains in week 3, possibly. I mean, because anyone can have a bad day in the mountains.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like, according to my tour tracker app, O'Connor did get inside the 5K. So it looks like he's only 10 seconds back.
Oh, nice.
But
just with the
a
bruised
bad
body.
Crash. Yeah, with a heavy crash.
But probably the biggest news is Ghana being out.
Yeah.
Ghana and Bissinger both go out. I had them both in my on my team, so I've already been making replacements. So
well,
yeah,
if you've got Remco, those are two decent guys to have out, just so Remco's got an even clearer path to a TT stage.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have Remco. So
yeah, I got the luck of the draw on that.
Yeah.
I do think it seems like Alpecin just has the green jersey. It like they should be the favorites to win the green jersey, just given that lead out train is ferocious.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think we just keep an eye on, like, Girmay did really well for the fact that he had no lead out train.
yeah, he was right there.
The course profile is only going to suit him more and more.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point, Bear. I think that the fact that he was 2 bike lengths back, but he had no help. And is that because of the crosswinds and the way the race just broke apart? Or is that because their team is just not going to be as star-studded as Alpecin?
I mean, yeah, I think that's one did not help the other. So, I mean, like, they don't have the lineup to compete with Alpecin, but I don't think even at their best they're going to be able to compete with them.
Yeah, his train is not going to be able to compete with that Alpecin train. So I suspect his strategy is going to be doing what he did today, which is sit on Jasper's wheel and see if he can nip him at the end. And today it looked like he got pinched against the side twice.
Yeah.
You know, like he was going to go up the side. It got crowded. He let up a little bit, tried it again, and then he'd lost too much momentum. So we'll see if he can make that work.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting. I think, is there anything else that you guys saw today that could be just like watch this as we head forward in the tour?
I saw in an interview with Jorgensen, that he said they had that plan of attacking with about 100. I don't know what distance it was, but it was quite a ways out that they wanted to put the pressure on and move to the front. And it sounds like that's what they're going to be doing the whole race, or at least this whole week, to try to stay really aggressive on the front of this. So it'll be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, and I'm interested too. I guess the big team that we noticed just watching from here was the fact that X had like 4 guys right there at the end.
Yeah.
And so that was a really strong showing for them. They got, I can't remember the name of their sprinter. Their sprinter came in 3rd behind Benny and Philipsen. And so I think they could be a team to watch, especially in these early stages, because they look like they're willing to be pretty aggressive. So I think they could maybe light some stuff up.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I also think that the big takeaway today is it really is a two-horse race with a 1A, a clear 1A, and Jonas is right behind Poggi. And I just think the strength of Visma and UAE are going to keep those two clear of the of most of the dangers through the next 7 or 8 days. I
Yep.
think that's why I keep coming back to, just because yeah, all the other two, the top four, the big four, just have trouble with positioning and crashes. So,
Yep.
any final thoughts before we jump to Bears Ireland adventures?
No.
All right, great. Yeah, lots to cover. I think it's going to be a really exciting tour. It was fun to just wake up and just turn the tour back on and just watch cycling. It's a good summer
Yeah.
summertime event. All right. Before we jump to Bear, to kind of just kick off what Ireland's been like, the travels and all of that, I do want to encourage you all to follow Bear on Strava. Some really cool maps. He gives updates generally daily. Sometimes his bike computer does wonky stuff, but he'll update and write some stuff in the description, post
Yep.
photos, follow him on Instagram at AeroBear. And also, if you want to help his fundraising efforts for funding his adventures, go to the Gifts and Go link in the description. Bear, tell us about Ireland.
Yeah, it's been good. The first day or so was pretty rough, just with jet lag. Um, Different circumstances on the flight meant that it was pretty hard to sleep. So we essentially went like the first like 30 hours without sleeping. Just because once you're jet lagged, the coaches and staff were trying to make sure we didn't completely throw off our sleep schedule by like going to sleep in the middle of the day. So we were just kind of encouraged to stay up as long as we could and then go to sleep to try get our and then sleep for a long time to get our schedule back on track. But once we did that, the first few days were actually pretty good weather by Irish standards, and I mean a little rainy every now and then, but that was pretty good. We've had a great guide who is I think it's late 20s, and he is pretty fit, and so he's been taking us around, guiding us around the countryside, and we've gone to scout I think 5 of the 6 routes thus far.
Great.
So yeah, it's been good to see all those, some crazy routes, and yeah, some. It's going to be a very different style of racing, just very narrow roads, very twisty roads, and just some road furniture as well.
This will be your first time dealing with road furniture.
Yeah, essentially. I think we went and scouted stage 2 or 3 the other day, and it's got like 2 speed bumps inside the final 200 meters.
No way.
Like, so
Lovely.
you have to navigate that, and I think you come off the top of this climb where you're going along the coast, and you're climbing this hill, so you've got full wind exposure up this like drag of 4% max, and it's on this windy road, and then you descend down into this town, drop straight in, screaming descent, and then it's a tight right hand corner of a little more than 90 degrees, right at the base of this like 7% incline. And from the base there, it's like 250 to the finish. And so you have to take this corner. You've got a curb and wall on the other side, and the beach is just on the other side of that wall. So you got that. You make that corner, and it's a sprint to the line with those 2 speed bumps, and that's one of the crazier finish. That's probably the craziest finish. But I guess the silver lining with that one is it'll be pretty thinned out. The group's gonna get splintered to bits before that point.
Because of the wind.
Yeah, and just the difficulty of the course.
And what stage is this? Did you mention that already?
3 or 4. I mean, it's on my Strava, but I can't remember exactly
Okay.
which one. We've
And
done a lot the last few days, so it kind of all runs together.
Remind me, it's a 6-day stage race?
Yeah, 6 days.
Okay, gotcha. Now, walk us through the team, how many riders there are, what does just a normal day look like right now?
Yeah, we've got 10 guys total, or 9 guys total on the team. We were going to have 10, but one guy crashed out before he came over. But we've got 2 teams. Team California has 5 guys there in the house across from me, and then 4 guys in the boost house. Being a little quiet right now. Well, and then yeah, we've just been getting up at like 9:30 or so, pretty slow each morning. Get on the bike usually in around an hour or so, and then we'll either ride from here to a course or we'll get in the car and drive to a course to pre-ride, and then come back, eat. We'll usually watch a show. We've had some really late dinners. I mean, I think I texted one of y'all saying that we ended up heating up like a full thing of spaghetti at
That's right.
like 10:15 p.m. at night and just demolished the entire thing before going to bed at like 12, just because our sleep schedules were still off. So we had an early dinner today at like 6:30 because we had been eating at like 8:39 previously. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's been pretty chill in the afternoons. Kind of make sure you have everything organized and ready for the next day, and yeah, just make sure you're eating enough and then sleeping enough.
Or one of the shows you're watching Unchained?
We have watched some Unchanged though.
Okay.
Guys have yeah, we've jumped around between different shows a bit. I'm sure we'll watch more Unchained. We'll be watching quite a bit of the tour. Um, I've seen a couple of shows that I had heard about vaguely, but we rewatched like the first episode or whatever. I just watched the first episode of Squid Game uh, last night. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. It sucks. Yeah, I think I had a lengthy text conversation with one of the guys back home about it, and I was just describing it as the factor that keeps you watching is morbid curiosity.
Seen a lot of shows like that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Bear? Just physically as you get ready for your longest stage race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, describe to me how the training has been impacting you.
Feel pretty good. We've been doing like a couple efforts each day, nothing too much. Probably 2 days ago was the hardest day just because it was screaming along the coast up and down, and it's super windy along that. I think it's Doolin is where we're riding, and then we hit Castle Hill, which is the steepest climb over here. It's like sustained 17% for like a
Wow.
kilometer.
Wow.
And it's completely open and exposed, super windy. And I think it's like 20K from the finish, and so it's a cool climb, really tough, and we punched it up that pretty good this last time. So um, legs are recovering a little bit right now. I think I'll be in good shape for the race. Yeah, it's really just I really don't know what my form will be going into it. I have
Totally.
no idea how fast it's going to be.
Yeah.
Um, and then just how will I adjust to the aggressiveness and positioning, how better everyone's handling the pack is going to be.
Definitely. Is it really different training with a team versus training by yourself?
Um, I mean, it's not been super like it's not structured workouts here. It's been like me and do an effort here, but we've been keeping it pretty controlled, almost tapering. Um, so yeah, we haven't been pushing it a lot. So I guess in that the intensity's down a little bit, but on the other hand, we're like constantly doing like a rolling pace line from one spot to another to see the course. So that's nice. And you had the chit chat. We stop a little more often, just either take a pee or to grab some food.
Yeah, I mean that's the realities of cycling. I don't think when you're watching the full length cast of the Tour de France, you see riders pulling off to the side. But I don't think most people know. Yeah, like you've got to relieve yourself on long rides.
Yep.
It's just part of it. Dad, do you have any questions for Bear?
Yeah, your coach, right? I think just arrived, and I think you guys had a meeting. What any excitement that come up there? What'd you guys learn in your first meeting?
Nothing much. It was just kind of setting ground rules for the house that we've been living in for already a couple days. So kind of just like
Housekeeping things.
Yeah. He's been happy with the condition of the house, and just was kind of like keep it as it is. And then just kind of laying out what he's hoping to do, how he's hoping to coach us. Just kind of the big thing he's pushing is just like try to minimize stress in anything, because stress is going to really kill you over 6 days of hard racing, because it just takes a toll on you mentally and physically. So yeah, that was the big thing. Nothing too complicated. We'll discuss more tactics and goals over the next few days, but yeah.
Have you met I know there's a local writer who's filling in on your guys' team. Have you met him?
It looks like that was going to happen, but fell through just earlier today. He ended up racing. He's going to be at the race, but racing with a local Irish team.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll still be down a rider.
All right. Be stronger.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool, Bear. I'm stoked to see how the first day goes. Just all the adjustments, what it's like racing overseas. It's crazy that you're actually overseas racing.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity. As we kind of bring this puppy in for a landing, I do think that just a call again to make sure you're following Bear on Strava, and I think it's really cool. It's going to be really great. I do want to end with this, that the fantasy league, there's a Tour de France fantasy league that TSOT puts on, and I just want to give a quick update on points, have this be kind of our I've got to be really honest. I did not really understand the rules of the draft. Like when I do football fantasy with my brother-in-laws, it's a time thing and everyone's on it live. And so I thought I was waiting for us to all get together on it live, and I log on and everyone else made their bids. And so I've got I wouldn't say bottom feeders, but it comes out in the points. Bear is in the lead with 495. That has 408, and I have 176. So, if this were golf, I would be dominating.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I kind of stacked my sprinter squad. I might drop a sprinter or a few over the next few days.
That's not a bad idea.
And I noticed you seem to get everybody on there, and I still think I would have done better if Ghana and Bissinger. I lose two of my guys that I had in for points. They both dropped out today. So
so I've got Merlier, Milan, and Girmay as my sprint squad for this first week. So I'm looking pretty strong, and I chose not to sign Phillips in out of spite.
I had to take it.
You know what might have tanked me is that Richard Carapaz. I picked him. He's not in the race.
He didn't start.
He didn't end up starting. And I think that does go to show, because we talked about the American riders.
Right.
And I posted that clip from our last episode, and we didn't think Nielsen Palace would be riding, I think.
Or Simmons.
Or Simmons, yeah, Quinn Simmons. And Quinn Simmons ended up getting bumped up.
Yeah, and I think I ended up signing him onto my tour squad.
Yeah, so happy for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Bear, any final thoughts before we close it out?
No, not really. I mean, I guess the weird thing that I noticed when I got here was I'm like the old guy here, because I'm the only one who's 18, and
you've been there for like 2 months now. So, I mean, you've been 18 for so long.
Yeah. And I'm the only one out of high school.
Wow.
So that was kind of the weird moment. So it'll be fun, and I think I was kind of quiet the first few days, just kind of listening to conversations, kind of getting to know everyone. And the thing I kept hearing said was, oh, I'm not going to Belgium because I have like Toad and Ireland, or I didn't do Toad because I'm doing Ireland and Belgium. And everyone's telling me that this is a ridiculous race walk to do both Toad, Ireland, and Belgium.
Yeah, I guess you'll find your limits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. This is the let's wrap it up here. I will encourage it, for those of you listening this far, be sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Share the show if you're enjoying it. If you have any questions for Bear, or just have any questions on the Tour de France, leave them in the comment of this video, and then we'll address them in the next podcast. Anyway, with that, Bear, why don't you close it out?
This has been the AeroBear podcast. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Bear, and I like to ride bikes. When I was a kid, I stood in the shadows of giants, the Tour de France, the legends, the climbs. I was hooked. Now, I race in the Pacific Northwest. Rain, heat, snow, I'm still riding. It's about the pursuit of improvement, the grind, the grade, the summit. My goals? Nationals, Europe. How high can I go? I'm Bear Lopez, riding, climbing.